Coffee and Convo, y'all. Hangover Monday edition. Let's get it. Yo, salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. You guys know what time it is. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider, man. I hate doing these Hangover Monday shows, but we're here, man. Salute to you guys. Make sure you guys wipe them feet, meaning hit them thumbs up, and also hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. And also salute to our proud sponsors over at BetUS. This live stream is powered by BetUS. Head over there and get 150% bonus on your first deposit, 125% on your next two deposits by using promo code YouTube150. Fastest payouts in the industry. Once again, man, salute to our proud sponsors over at BetUS. Up to $2,000, man. Come on. Go over there. Tell them Graphk sent you, man. How we feeling? Today, man? Nasty loss yesterday. You know what I'm saying? A lot that you can build off of. Look, I'm not going to sit here and just bash this team for the next hour or so. There was a few things that, we can actually kind of hang our hats on, so to speak. Still lost, right? 27-20, to our divisional rival, the Kansas City Chiefs. There was a few things that I seen that I was actually excited about, the continued development of Brock Bowers. I mean, hey, you guys, to be honest, outside of that fumble with Gardner Minshew, I mean, hey, man, he played a pretty clean game yesterday. He was number one in terms of PFF numbers for the Raiders yesterday. One turnover, 2 touchdowns, no picks though. So that was a bright spot for us. Once again, ground game struggling, can't get the ground game going. And once again, AP and company, Luke Getsy is in company just can't find a way to do what's working in specific situations. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that is, you're in a goal line situation against one of the better rushing defenses in the NFL, and you just continue to run the football. This is not the team that we faced last week. It's an entirely different roster. This defense is on a different level. And once again, in a goal line situation, we struggle to score, allowing Kansas City to kind of run off with that game. So, once again, self-inflicted wounds, kind of a few plays yesterday that could have went a different way. And we may be talking about a different game here, but the no timeouts, yes, Dan, we want to talk about that definitely. Using those early on and leaving your offense with nothing. That was actually kind of disgusting. I was pissed off by that. I would have loved to have a few timeouts in that situation at the end of the game, but hey, it is what it is. And yeah, Brave, man, dog, I put this on Twitter. I feel like the NFL is just, they want that three-peat from the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know if you guys seen this, but former second rounder, pass rusher for the New England Patriots, just went to the Kansas City Chiefs, who are now 7-0 after picking up D-Hop for a 2026 sixth-round pick. Now, this guy's been a healthy scratch and kind of on his way out of the door in New England for the past few seasons. But once again, man, the Kansas City Chiefs, the rich keep getting richer. You hate to see it, man. A 2026 sixth-round pick. This kid is young. He doesn't provide a lot in the run game at all. But this is a guy that can get to the quarterback. On clear passing downs, put him out there, and he can get to the quarterback. And Chris Jones and company is only going to make his life that much easier. And he's probably going to end up shining for the Kansas City Chiefs. So once again, man, a rich get richer with Josh Uche going over there for a 2026 sixth-round pick. Nasty work. Salute to my guy, Mike Down. Seen this before. Not my first rodeo with this organization, but let's go get our first round quarterback, man. Salute to my guy, Mike Dales. And you are right, brother. We're getting closer and closer to our goal of securing our quarterback of the future. And you guys, if the draft started today, we'd be at 7. Okay, so I know a lot of people are asking about where we are in the pecking order of the draft, right? Carolina's number 1. Will they go quarterback? Will they get Cam Ward there at number 1? I think he probably would be the first quarterback off the board unless Georgia, they go the Georgia route and go bring in Carson Beck. I don't know. They could do that. But Tennessee's at number 2. They're going to want another quarterback. Will Levis has not worked down there. Mr. Mayonnaise himself, it's just not clicking down there in Tennessee. New England, they got their guy in Drake May. He's looked good even with the terrible O-line and wide receivers dropping footballs left and right. Drake May is their future. Don't have to worry about them in front of us at 3. The Jets are an interesting and sneaky team because if A-Rod decides on retiring after this year, they're 2-6 right now, and they're right behind New England in this order. I can see the Jets potentially, taking a quarterback there at 4 with 1 year left on A-Rod's deal and, 2 years left of Devontae Adams. So I could see them be a sneaky team at 4 and stealing one of these young signal callers there early in the draft. The Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, he's still down there. He's their guy. He's owed a shit ton of money. I don't think they move on from Trevor Lawrence right now. The Saints are an interesting team. They will move on from DC at some point. But they just, got Spencer Rattler. The year prior, they took Jake Hayner. So I don't know if they think that one of those guys can be the guy moving forward. So they're a sneaky team as well. And then you have us there at 7 with a clear need at quarterback with the Cleveland Browns and Miami Dolphins and Giants all right behind us. So that's kind of worrisome because all 3 of those teams could potentially use a quarterback. I know the Dolphins just paid Tua a shit ton of money, and I don't want to put this into the universe, knock on wood, but he's probably a concussion away now from his career being over. I don't think he should be out there now. So I could definitely see them going out and getting another quarterback. Even after losing to the Arizona Cardinals yesterday, they may still have a question mark there, even with Tua. And then the Cleveland Browns, they won with Jameis Winston. Salute to those guys, but they are paying Deshaun Watson a shit ton of money, $70 million next year, $70 million the following year. I don't know how you can go draft a quarterback owing Deshaun Watson that kind of money moving forward. And then the Giants at 10 will definitely be looking at some point for a quarterback and probably move on from Daniel Jones. So, yeah, man, there's a ton of teams there in that top 10 that we could potentially be fighting with in terms of placement for quarterbacks. So interesting, man. Don, I don't know if you've seen it, Don, but I feel like they're trolling us at this point. I do. I don't know if you guys seen it, but Munford was lined up at wide receiver on it was nasty work. I don't know if you guys seen this. It's kind of going Raider viral. They had him lined up at the X on the outside. And then Maxx Crosby was lined up at fullback a few times, which didn't help anything. So you have a superstar edge rusher that is dealing with a high ankle sprain, who has been missing, practice times here and there, being limited because of it, us trying to rest him a little bit as much as possible, and you throw him out there at fullback. Maxx Crosby, your best player on your team, your leader, dealing with an ankle sprain. I can't make this shit up, y'all. I can't make this shit up. You got Munford, your starting right tackle, kind of a revolving door there with him and DJ Glaze. But you have him, 300-pound guy, lined up at the X spot as a wide receiver. Lewis, that shouldn't be drawn up. I don't really care if it's been clearly a play that they've been working on. That type of shit should not be drawn up. What kind of fucking coordinator and coach thinks about, let me go get my injured edge rusher, my best player on the team, dealing with a high ankle sprain, put him in the backfield and line him up at fullback? Munford, who's been dealing with his own stuff, Let's go line him up as a wide receiver. Yeah, it's definitely something that they've been working on. Motherfucker shouldn't have been worked on in the first place. That shit shouldn't have been drawn up. Salute to you, Lopez, my dog, man. It's nasty, nasty work. Yeah, Rich. I mean, come on, man. With this knee and ankle, it's disgusting. It's nasty work. Salute to my brother Mikey in the building as well, man. My dog. Salute to Silver and Facts. Appreciate you, brother, on the $20 special. You know it's been a week. Mr. Nice Guy Sanjit's finally calling for Getsy to be out. Mitch about to fly to LV to slip a Mickey and Getsy's Appletini. Box him up to ship his ass to Abu Dhabi. And Hondo looks like a Castaway 2 extra. You stupid, man. Silver Facts. Salute to you, man. And salute to all those guys that you mentioned, man. I think we're all kind of dealing with our Raider bipolarness in our own ways at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I did see the tweet that Sanjit put out there about getting rid of AP and Getsy. They should be fired today. That's what he put out there yesterday. So, you know, you're starting to see the tide turn a little bit, and we're all starting to show our Raider bipolarness. The more we lose week by week. It's nasty work out here in these streets, man. Salute to Silver and Facts. Salute to my guy Ant as well. Guess he's trying to do his best Ben Johnson impression. Laugh my ass off. Yeah, man. And you know what's funny? I want to ask you guys, how'd you feel about two things that AP said? You know, they brought up, the play calling. And AP kind of said that it wasn't the coaching staff. I mean, this is what I took from it, right? I took from it as he said it was execution. Pretty much the players need to do their jobs in order for the offense and defense to work the way they see it fit. Execution. That's the problem now. That's the problem. No accountability by AP right there. You're literally kind of throwing your players under the bus by saying it's all execution. Come on, man. What do we mean here when you're looking at the play calling that Getsy's throwing out there? That's disgusting. You do not want your head coach going out there saying it's more about execution. You know what I'm saying? They asked him, about, Luke Getsy's play calling and so on and so forth. And if he'll be around, and what was the exact words, you guys? I'm going to bring this up. When asked a burning question, he shared a firm stance on his current coaching staff. This is via Tashawn Reed over at The Athletic. Salute to Tashawn Reed. When asked if he's considering making a change at offensive play caller, Antonio Pierce said he thinks that the issue is execution. So it doesn't sound like Luke Getsy's job is in jeopardy or losing his duties as the offensive coordinator. Salute to my brother Intel in the building. How blind can you be at this point? I understand that you don't want to throw Getsy under the bus and so on and so forth, but call a spade, AP. Call a spade, bro. This is your last opportunity to be a head coach at the NFL level. This is your only opportunity and probably your last opportunity to be a head coach. Call a spade, man. Call a spade. Just say, hey, we have to do better as coaches. And our players have to do better executing what we ask out of them. It's just simple and plain, man. Like you get the blame game can go all across the board, AP. Got to hold yourself a little bit more accountable. You got to hold your offensive coordinator a lot more, accountable for the shit that he's calling on the offensive side of the ball. When Merritt goes out there and gets that pick off of Patrick Mahomes and has us there at the 2 or 3 yard line, the thing is this: we all know anybody that's ever played football, when the field shrinks, it is a lot more tougher to move the football. And what I mean by that is we're in a goal line situation. Kansas City's protecting the goal line. It is a lot more difficult to score in those type of situations. When the football field shrinks, it is a lot more tougher to put up points. Okay. We knew that we were facing one of the better defenses at the NFL level. Okay. One of the top teams in terms of defending the run. So you go out there, okay, and run the football multiple times in a goal line situation against this defense. You guys, we had 33 total rushing yards. Alexander Mattison almost had as many carries as he did yards yesterday, you guys. He averaged 1.1 a clip, 14 carries, 15 yards. He literally almost had as many carries as he had yards. Zamir White, -1. All the rushing yards that we really came up with came from Trey Tucker, DJ Turner, Gardner Minshew in a two-piece by Amir Abdullah. How do you not read the room here? How do you not read the room here? I understand that you're trying to get the ground game going. And once again, he doubled down. I don't know if you've seen the presser. We're still going to try and get the ground game going. Okay, great. Great. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working. Get away from what's not working. Throw the football. Tight end day, you guys. Tight end day. First half, we're watching Brock Bowers do work. Do work. Once again, as always, week by week, Brock Bowers is taking the league by storm at the tight end position, slot, receiver, whatever you want to put him. He's just a phenomenal football player. And you completely go away from him. This kid was averaging 11.6 yards per reception. Only targeted 5 times. Guess how many times he caught the football, you guys? 5 fucking times. 5 targets, 5 receptions for 58 yards. And you completely go away from your best football player on the offensive side of the ball. Make it make fucking sense. The timeout situation, Sheldon, our game management, guy that helps AP with communicating between timeouts and game management as a whole, needs to go. Needs to go. It's clear that AP is leaning on this guy way too much in certain situations that affect these games. What happened before the half? What happened before the half? You use all your timeouts. You don't even try to go up the field and score. You go 3 and out. You give Kansas City the football. They go back down the field and they score. Unfucking acceptable. Unacceptable. Game management, terrible. Sheldon, you got to go. You got to go. Game management, you got to go. You got to go. You have one job. You have one job. One job. That is to help with game management. You're not out here drawing up plays and go. Game fucking management. And you don't even know when to use your timeouts. What are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? It's just nasty, nasty work. Salute to Ant-Man. Appreciate you, man, on the $5 special. Let me get these supers in real quick, you guys. Appreciate every single one of y'all for being here. As always, salute the Trip. AP is getting even worse at game management. We're just talking about it. He makes McDummy look like Albert Einstein. Man, that's him, and that is Sheldon. Those two guys, public enemy number 1 and 2, Sheldon and AP, your head coach and the guy in control of game management. Simple and plain. Salute the Trip. Greg, I didn't see it, brother. My apologies. I didn't see it. Salute to Joe. I consider myself an AP guy, and that's fine, man. But if he's fired by the end of the season, it is what it is. But if we do not hire the best offensive-minded head coach available, Ben Johnson, and draft Shador, I'm going to be sick. Joe, look, if it's Shador, if it's Cam Ward, whatever guy that they really, truly believe in, I'm here for it. You got to go get your quarterback. You got to go get your quarterback, man. I'm sick. And salute to my brother Hammer. I watched a little bit of his show earlier, and he was mentioning how a lot of these teams have young quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these teams that are winning football games right now. Josh Allen is still fairly young. The Texans got C.J. Stroud, and Stephon Diggs is now out for the season. I believe he tore his ACL. Nasty, nasty work. Diggs, get right, man, get right. But you're looking at Jaden Daniels, Hail Mary yesterday to beat the Bears. Caleb Williams having his team over 500 right now. Hammer made a great point that you're looking at the league changing by the minute. You're looking at the changing of the guard in terms of the quarterback position. Joe Burrow, he's still fairly young. All these guys are young guys at the quarterback position, and all we keep doing is doing this revolving door shit. You hold on to DC for 10 years almost. He's 30 years old. You bring in a Jimmy G, to be your guy the following year. He sucks. You have Brian Hoyer replace Jimmy G. He sucks. You finally give a kid an opportunity in Aiden O'Connell last season that goes 5-4, I believe, at the end of the season. Him and AP, they had that rapport, and AP keeps the job. Guess what happens? You bring in a Gardner Minshew to take away Aiden's job at the beginning of the season. It's just a revolving thing. You got to go out and get your young guy this upcoming season. It will be a catastrophe for you guys if our Raiders do not go up and get a quarterback in round one. Point blank, period, the end. And even if we're there at 7, 8, 9, it doesn't matter. If we just come off a couple wins and we kind of drop, you better move up and go get your guy this year. There is no excuses at all. You're looking at 2 young guys in this draft that are already making noise at the NFL level. Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. More than anybody, Jaden Daniels, a guy that we were tied to all offseason, which we all realistically knew that couldn't happen. But I'm just saying, they're taking the league by storm. We haven't even seen Michael Penix Jr. yet. I mean, look, we're not going to act as though the young kid in Denver is balling out like that, but he has his team over 500. Everything is clicking out there. The defense is solid. The young kid is getting his reps, live bullets. We're seeing the game change. We need to change with the game. No more old school going about. I don't want the Raiders the Falcons end up starting Michael Penix Jr. next year and the Raiders go out and get Kirk Cousins. That would be such a fucking Raider move. Go get your guy in next year's draft. And if we continue to lose in order to do that, it is what it is. This year is a simple and plain. Simple and plain. For those who don't want to hear that, I'm fucking sorry. But it's realistic. I am washing my hands of this season. We need our young signal caller next year. Fuck it. Lose out. Get your guy. Whether it's Cam, Shador, whoever it is. Bring in your guy, man. He said, F it. Bring back Lane Kidd. Fuck no, Raider Mike. No. Salute to Heat Check. Like Honcho said, if we're not tanking, then all these dudes need to go. The thing is, man, I keep saying it, though. You don't need to tank when your team is not that good. Actually, I don't even want to say not that good. We're a bad football team. We're a bad football team. So you don't have to tank. Salute to my brother Honcho. I just texted him this morning and said, we got to run one soon. You know what I'm saying? But we don't need to tank. We're just a bad football team. There's no need to tank when you go out there and you show, the coaching staff. The coaching staff is not good. The play calling is not good. Most of these players are not that good. You don't need to tank. It is what it is. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, man, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. It definitely helps us remain in the algorithm and definitely keeps us moving and grooving on YouTube, you guys. So salute. Somebody asked who Sheldon is. I'm going to show you guys right here. This is our game management guy. He is responsible for game management. It's Josh McDaniels guy, former Minnesota, guy, experienced 21 years. That's who that is. So for those who are wondering who is in charge of game management, that is the guy that Josh McDaniels brought in, and they kept him around. And he's been the guy that AP has been leaning on heavily week in and week out to help him in regards of game management, and it hasn't worked. Me after game 2, Minshew thrives on 2.5-second pass plays. Getsy, week 8, Minshew pretty good at these 2.5-second pass plays. Let's run the ball more. Reap, my dog, you are on to something, my brother. Salute to you on a $5 special. Salute to Rich. Appreciate you, brother. Super sticker, man, $5, man. Salute for the $5 holler. Salute to Greg as well. Did we hire Getsy the tank? He's the worst OC ever. Let me say this. You honestly can't say he's the worst OC ever because, has he been terrible? Definitely, Greg. But does he have a lot of, and we talked about this. I hate just saying the same shit over and over, but he has Gardner Minshew as a starting quarterback. His O-line has been so up and down, right? Like it's one week we're looking better and the next week they look bad. Colton Miller is just I don't know what to even think about Colton Miller anymore. DJ Glaze had a terrible game yesterday at right tackle, right? And then to get the ground game. Getsy relies heavily on running the football. We have not been able to run the football because they gave him Zeus and they gave him Alexander Madison and a 30-plus-year-old Amir Abdullah as your third down back. So honestly, I can't assess him being the worst OC ever unless I see him with the actual offense around him. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he had Devontae Adams for a split second. Cool. But realistically, you have had Gardner Minshew out there. You had Aiden O'Connell out there. You had no ground game, and you have musical chairs, on the O-line. 1 minute is Parham. He goes out. Jordan Meredith. JPJ's at guard. Now he's at center. Munford is at right tackle. Now it's DJ Glaze. There's been no real, it's just been so much going on in the O-line. So much going on. So I will definitely agree with you that Getsy is very bad at his job right now, but I can't call him the worst OC ever because what he has been given and thrown out there with is very hard and very difficult to work with. But his play calling has been suspect as fuck. Salute to Greg. I appreciate you, bro. I like Milroe Brave. I think he's more of a run the football, type guy first. I don't want to have a Milroe in Las Vegas. I don't think that Milroe is going to be the guy at the next level. I don't. And I will always scream Aiden O'Connell should have started this season because with the record now, we will not know if he was real or not. And to be honest with you, Mike, we'll probably never even see Aiden O'Connell anymore. Realistically, if he's on the IR right now with the broken thumb, if later on down the line, Carter Bradley or Desmond Ritter gets the job and they lose it and Aiden's healthy, maybe. But we may have seen the last of Aiden O'Connell, you guys. Like we may have seen the last. And, I don't think that anybody's really going to question if he was the guy of the future. I don't think that any of us thought that he was going to be the guy, but we thought that he could at least just help the offense, make it serviceable, and we can go out there and win a few games. We'll never know what Aiden O'Connell is going to be. Because I think, honestly, that may be the last of what we've seen of him. He'll probably be buried on the depth chart next year. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't even know if we're going to hold on to him. He's a 4th-round pick. He doesn't cost a lot. You know what I'm saying? But I think that room is going to look completely different next year with the new quarterback in round 1 and potentially another one in the later rounds. So you just never know. Do we keep Ritter? Do we bring Carter Bradley back? I don't know. But it's going to be very interesting to see if that's the last time that we'll ever see of Aiden O'Connell. Salute to Heat Check. Let me ask you, Graphk, for the last 10 to 12 years, who's been the root of all these bad seasons and decisions? And I know where you're going right here, Heat Check, and you're going to go with ownership, right? I'm not going to fight you on this. I'm not going to fight you. He's brought in the GMs. He's brought in GMs that have picked their head coaches, and he handpicked John Gruden and gave him a 10-year deal, completely guaranteed, right? And then the situation happened with the emails and so on and so forth. So I know where you're going with this, but, like I said before, Mark has definitely done some bad things in terms of on the field, but his thing is making money off the field, and that's what he's doing. He's putting butts in seats. He's finding new deals. He's bringing in Tom Brady and Richard Seymour for minority owners. He's doing massive things off the field that is continuing to make our worth go up and up and up by year. So he's doing his job on that side of things. But yes, he decided to bring in the Patriot way. You can definitely throw that on Mark. He was the one that brought in Josh McDaniels and Ziegler. Definitely. So, and he was the one that definitely made the decision to move on, to bring in John Gruden, and so on and so forth. Let Richie B walk, which I think was the right move. I think it would have been another AP type move, you guys, if we would have made Richie B the head coach after that little playoff run that we went on. But yeah, he definitely needs to take some ownership, no pun intended, in terms of our non-success. I totally agree with you. I think that's the route you're going. Salute to Clone, my guy. 178 days, 4 hours and 32 minutes until the NFL draft, Graphk. And I am already booked and ready to go. Green Bay, I will be out there to cover the draft. I'm about to put my NFL credentials to work next season. You're going to see me at potentially the Senior Bowl, Super Bowl, draft, combine, all that good stuff. So stay tuned, and I am counting down the days until the draft comes. Let me see. Salute to everybody here in the building, as always. Appreciate every single one of you guys. And like I said before, you guys, I'm a major fan of Cam Ward. I don't know if Cam Ward is going to be there when we draft. I have to be honest here. You know, if I'm looking at this draft board right now, I'm seeing Carolina and I'm seeing their situation with Bryce, and it looks very, very dark out there with him at the quarterback position. I'm thinking that Carolina may go get Cam Ward there at number 1. New head coach, right? He wants his guy. Bryce was not his guy. I can definitely see Carolina going out there and taking Cam Ward out of Miami at 1. And at that point, you got to just hope that Dion is on the phones telling Tennessee, New England, if they decide to go crazy and get a quarterback, the Jets, the Jags, the Saints, stay away from my son. Stay away from my son. So I honestly believe that Cam Ward will be off the board first. If he continues to move the way he's moving this year, he looks like, he could be a definite Heisman, Heisman candidate, him and GT. There's a few others, Travis Hunter and so on and so forth. But, I think he will be the first guy off the board. I think that Shedeur is more realistic. But I do believe that Shedeur fits the culture and what we're doing out there in Las Vegas. So I have no problems with 1A, 1B, however you look at it. Let me see. But either way, I think Tom Telesco, with that additional draft capital, with that 3rd round pick, you got, 1st round pick next year that you could potentially package up. If you feel that any of those teams are going to take your guy, just move up. Just move up. We're not going to have to move up from 13 again this year, you guys. It's not like a situation where we're going from 13 to trying to get to 2 or 1. This is a situation where we may be looking at trying to go from 5 to 1, 4 to 1, 7 to 2, somewhere in that range. This is not one of those years where we're going to win 8 games and be stuck right there in purgatory. It's just not going to happen. This team is not good enough to do so. Salute to Clone. Salute to Sky Adelic, my dog. I appreciate you, brother, as always. Salute to my guy, man, so much. Appreciate you on a $10 special. Graham Cam, my dog, it's good to see you in the building, brother. It looks like the game has slowed down with Cam Ward. The dude is different. Facts. He can make all the throws. He can utilize his legs. I love what Cam Ward is doing out there in Miami, man. He looks like a leader, on and off the field. I like the kid's pedigree, man. Cam Ward is one of them ones. Just because you guys, I'm going out there and screaming from the rooftops for Shedeur Sanders does not mean that I would not love to have Cam Ward in the building as a future Raider. So, and Daniel Caps, you're right. He's accurate as fuck. So the heat check. Why does no one mention how AP is actually a JMD? I did. I've said this on multiple shows. Also, what does Marvin Lewis do or say during all these bad play calls and bad time management? Man, he's out there getting a check, man. He's out there getting a check. Did you see that report that came out somewhere? I don't know if it was just some clickbaity stuff. Somebody put a report out there the other day that a lot of these coaches on the defensive side of the ball are just there collecting a check. The Marvin Lewises, the Robos of the world. There was something that was floating around on Twitter and Instagram about some of these, these older coaches that are in there as senior advisors and so on and so forth, just kind of collecting a check and just getting by, off of their names and what they've done, in the past, So I don't know how true that is. But yes, heat check. I have said that a lot. I've said that people need to kind of pump the brakes here, that JMD was the guy that brought him in. He was the guy that brought him in. He made him his linebackers coach. So, okay, was on Bleacher Report. Okay. And once again, you guys, I'm not saying that any of that is true. I'm just saying that it's sad we're in a situation now where we have reports, whether they're true or false, coming out about coaches just kind of getting a check and keeping it moving. That's nasty work. That is nasty work. Reap, I agree, man. Definitely has that poise. Definitely, man. Definitely. But yeah, you guys, right now we're 7th right now in terms of where we would be drafting if the draft started today. Panthers, Titans, Patriots, Jets, Jags, Saints, us, Browns, Miami, Giants. That is a top 10 right there. So we talked about the draft. Also, we talked about what Antonio Pierce said about the issue is execution. He kind of refused to put any of this fucking bullshit on his coaching staff. You know what I mean? He kind of threw his players under the bus by stating that it's more the issue is execution. And I think, as a head coach, AP, if you want to find a job elsewhere, if it doesn't work here in the future, you got to hold yourself accountable a lot more. You have to. Accountability is definitely key at the NFL level. You got to know when to wear that shit. You have to know when to wear that shit and not throw it off on your young pups. Simple and plain. I would have rather you say, hey, man, a big issue is execution, but also as coaches, it is our jobs to unlock that out of our players so they can execute. It goes hand in hand, man. It goes hand in hand. Simple and plain. Yeah, and definitely a good way to lose the locker room. Facts. Salute the Raiders. Neo, my guy. Hey, Graphk, if we win more games, how will it affect our draft stock? It definitely will, because some of these teams, thank you, baby. Some of these teams are not going to win. Carolina may not win another game this year, Neo. To be real with you, bro, they may not win another game. So, you're looking at the Jags. They don't necessarily need a quarterback, but I wouldn't be shocked if they brought in a new head coach, moved on from Doug Peterson, and maybe the new head coach wants a guy, his own guy, to draft if they're there in the thick of things in the top 5 to go get a quarterback. So, I don't know. But the good thing is we'll be in that prime position regardless to move future draft capital in order to go get our guy. If, let's just say, the top 5 teams are not sold on Shedeur Sanders, or if Shedeur and Dion are saying, look, we're doing the Eli Manning thing, we're forcing our way to Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you've seen that video that Travis Hunter put on his TikTok, you guys. I just posted it on Twitter and on my Instagram at Graphk Raider and at Graphk916 on Instagram, where he was, jokingly talking about Shedeur going to the Raiders, how much we need a quarterback, and him saying, you're going to the Raiders, right? And then he was like, or the Browns, which is another sneaky team if they decide on bringing on another quarterback with all the money that they owe Deshaun Watson. So, but it's going to be interesting with J-Mo out there now, man, with Winston out there. The Browns may win more games. He is a leader, a vocal leader. If anything, that should have been the guy that we brought in to be our bridge guy. He's a vocal leader. He's a guy that rah gets the players going. I would have been okay with bringing in a Jameson Winston. He's a gunslinger. He's a guy that'll go throw fucking 50 touchdowns and 50 picks. You know what I'm saying? But Jameis is one of the ones. He's a leader. So it's going to be interesting to see them moving forward if they win a few games out there in Cleveland, with him. So, but if we win any more games, Neo, it's definitely going to affect our draft stock. Definitely. Like tremendously. And if you look at this, the rest of the schedule, there's only a few games that you can technically look at that, on paper, that are winnable games. You see Miami struggling, right? You see Tyreek Hill out there kind of talking shit and Tua, just coming back from that injury. They don't look the same out there in Miami. That's a team that's a very winnable game, but it is on the East Coast, and we've struggled, in recent memory. We kind of got over that hump against Baltimore, but can we do it twice in 1 year? We shall see. But, Denver, that defense is looking phenomenal. We got, the Kansas City Chiefs once again. We got the Chargers once again. Cincinnati, they're going to be pissed coming off that blowout loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. We have them this weekend. They're going to want to win big because they're still in win now mode. They got Burrow one more year, or this last season of T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. They still have not figured out that contract. So, I don't really see not too many wins left on this schedule. Salute to my guy, man. Salute to LM as well. Appreciate you, brother, on the $5 special. If no Ben Johnson, how about Dan Lanning from Oregon? New blood. Love your content, Graphk. Thank you for your many years of great content. LM32, my dog, I appreciate you so much more for the kind words. That means even more to me than the financials, bro. Thank you. And it'd be interesting, right? They're number 1 right now. Oregon and company, they're doing their thing right now out there, man. It'd be interesting to see if he comes into the league and, tries to lead the collegiate level and become a head coach. We don't know. But, until prove, I think that he's going to stick around because he's going to want to win one there. If they win one, LM, who's to say that, he says, I want to go to the NFL level now. I did it here. Let me try and do it there. We shall see. But there's going to be other names that are going to stick out very soon in terms of possible head coaches that we can bring in if we decide on moving from AP. You know what I'm saying? So we shall see. But that offense, that defense is going out there in Oregon. You know what I mean? And who is his offensive coordinator out there? LM, do you know? I don't know the coordinator out there. I don't know the guy that's actually calling his offense. Because do you want to bring in another guy that is kind of, and I think Don put it in there as well, he is more of a defensive guy, right? He's more of a defensive mind. Me personally, I'm leaning towards bringing in an offensive-minded guy. That's why I would love to bring in a Ben Johnson if we decide on moving on from AP. Gardner, no. Surrey Bob, no. I know that's Brady's guy. No. Salute to Neo, my dog, once again on the $5 special. Based on my last question, do you believe that we are tanking without Pierce actually saying it so we can get a good draft pick? I don't know. I mean, the thing is this. Once again, I've stated that, you know, with all these injuries, and everybody's dealing with injuries all across the NFL. But when you lose guys like Malcolm Kuntz and Christian Wilkins, that was literally the strongest room on that team. You lose those two guys for the season, you kind of already have to look at this thing from a broad, outlook and say, look, man, can we actually win with what we have right now? When you lose Marcus Epps, who was a key communicator on the back end of that defense, can we honestly go about winning football games moving forward? You know what I'm saying? I don't think that the goal this year was with Gardner Minshew and Zeus and company to win a championship. I don't think that they truly thought that anyway. I thought that they maybe assumed they can win a few games, and kind of be in the thick of things, like we were last year. Anybody that thinks that you can win a Super Bowl or get to the playoffs and win multiple playoff games with Amir Abdullah, Alexander Madison, and Zamir White at the running back position with Gardner Minshew as your quarterback, you got to kind of already question their football acumen. You know what I'm saying? Like, do they know the game like that? So, I don't know. But I'll say this. Because I've seen people state that maybe AP is the only one that's not in the loop. If we are tanking, that could be the furthest from the truth. That could be the furthest from the truth. He'd be the first person alarmed of, hey, man, just go out there, man. If you guys lose, you lose. Once again, I don't know if you guys remember a week or so ago, him running into the locker room. We talked about this multiple times, smiling as we took an L as the players are walking in pissed. Maxx has a, angry face on him, and he's the only one walking in kind of smiling and laughing a little bit. So, it is what it is. I said before, man, that this year was going to be a situation where if everything worked out for us, if we could stay healthy with this roster that we had, we were looking at potentially a ceiling of 10 to 11 wins. 10 to 11 wins if everything worked itself out. And then the basement was a lot lower. I didn't think the basement was going to be this low. I had the basement, somewhere in the 7 to 8 range. I didn't think that it could potentially be 4 or 5 wins, which that's kind of where we are at this point. So it's nasty work. But Neo, to answer your question, man, I don't know, man. I don't think that they're deliberately going out there to try to lose football games. I like what JT the Brick said on Twitter this morning. I don't know if you guys seen the tweet, but he says something along the lines of, go walk up to Spillane and go walk up to Maxx Crosby, walk up to a few of these guys and say to their face that, are you guys tanking? And good luck to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way you can have anybody, especially with the likes of a Robert Spillane, Freight Train, Maxx Crosby, the Brock Bowers of the world, that are going to come out and lose football games on purpose. That's just not the way they're built. They do not have that in their DNA, you guys. That's not what they're about at all. It's more than money to these guys. Simple and plain. They want to win football games. They're out there not putting their health on the line to lose deliberately. So I love the tweet that JT put out there. Salute to my brother Wasted in the building as well. But he said, you go up to those guys, say it in the face. Say it in the face. And watch what happens. So the thing is this, you guys, it's not a good football team. I think that Maxx knows that. I think that Spill knows that. I think that a lot of these other guys and the other leaders in the locker room know that, but they're still trying. Look, yesterday was a great effort by our team, you guys. I would not question any effort out of that football team. We just lost to the better football team. You get what I'm saying? Like, I watched JPJ go out there and play his ass off. Brock play his ass off. Gardner Minshew play his ass off yesterday, man. Went out there 24 for 30. He was sacked 5 times, but was still throwing the football. Very efficient. 24 for 30, over 200 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns, average 7 a clip. You know, and he also ran the football a few times. Like, these guys were out there trying their best. They were. The effort was there. Jack Jones showed a lot of effort out there. Jacorian Bennett, Spillane, they were out there trying. The thing was, we're just not that good. And you could see the difference on the defensive line, you guys, because yesterday we only had 1 sack, 1 on the Kansas City Chiefs. And salute to Tyree Wilson, man, for shutting us all up, you know, with that. But we only had 1. We had 1 yesterday. That's nasty. That's not going to get it done. It's not going to get it done, especially from a room that was our strongest room on this team, which is that defensive line. So we were so highly dependent on that room to be productive for us to win ball games. And when you got a Malcolm Kuntz and Christian Wilkins out for the season and Tyree still not turning that corner yet, expect to struggle. Expect to struggle. Expect to struggle. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You got to chill. Waste it. Come on, bro. Take your money back. When you go live later, bro, I'm going to send it right back to you. The Graphster, the Graphinator. Salute to my brother, man. You already know, man, my dog. Yeah, and I'm seeing people, man, on Twitter and Instagram. This shit is crazy, you guys. Saying that Maxx Crosby sucks. That he sucked out there. Man, look, the Kansas City Chiefs, they're back-to-back champions for a reason. Andy Reid is one of the greatest head coaches for a reason. Their defensive coordinator is one of the top defensive coordinators in the NFL for a reason. And Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback in the NFL for a reason. Yes, Maxx only had 3 total tackles, 2 solo. Okay, I get it. But they found a way to take him out the ball game. That is what great football teams do. I've seen it from other teams as well. Taking JJ, or not JJ, but TJ Watt out of games, taking Myles Garrett out of games. This is what happens, especially when you're playing through a nagging injury like a high ankle sprain and also a knee injury that he sustained last year. You know what I'm saying? So come on, man. We have to be realistic here, you guys. You cannot go attack Maxx Crosby, our leader in that locker room, our leader on that football field, for having no help on that defensive line yesterday. I don't understand some of this shit, man. I truly don't, man. I truly don't. Salute to Zahn. Salute to my boy, man, Mike Dale. Everybody in the building. I see Green Dot Gang in here heavy, man. Salute to you guys so much. I appreciate you. Top Beast is in the building as well. Moderators, do me a favor, okay? Salute to you guys. But I have to say this because I got to bring Super Omni back. Let's not delete anybody because of their viewpoints, okay? As long as it's not political, don't delete anybody for good over football talk, okay? As long as it's not disrespectful, please do not. If you want to time somebody out because they're being annoying and they're spamming the chat, I get that. I totally understand that. But there's only one person here that should delete somebody for good, and that is me. So allow me to do the honors of that, please. I love my trigger finger's always itching, okay? But I had a few people reach out yesterday that said, I don't know what I did. I reviewed the comments. They weren't bad. So please, you guys, to all my moderators, let me gun them down for good. If you got to shoot, you know what I mean, some warning shots, let them fly. But let me be the one to do the honors of getting rid of somebody for good. If it's not racist or political or no crazy shit like that, no disrespect, allow them to get this shit off in the chat as long as they're not spamming it over and over. Daniel, this was the next thing that I was going to say. We have no identity. This is another thing that AP said in this presser today. He said, we're still looking for our identity. That's a problem. That's a problem. You're week 8, week 9, and you still have no identity. That is terrible. That is terrible. Raiders have no quarterback 1. Agreed. No running back 1. Agreed. No wide receiver 1. Agreed. They don't even have home field advantage. The Raiders are ghosts. Yeah, man. And you know what's so crazy, Daniel? Appreciate you on the $5 special. I was telling my brother, man, I was telling Wasted yesterday. I said, you know what's funny? We're the only team in the NFL. And maybe I'm tripping. You guys, please tell me if I'm wrong, okay? Let me read these supers. I'm going to finish my thought. I'm on the roof at work, mad as fuck, bro. I ain't watching no more games, bro. Salute, Graphk. Looking forward to meeting you at the toy drop. My boy, Jose, man, appreciate you, brother. And I'm still trying to work on it behind the scenes. I'll keep everybody posted if I can pull it off. So, but Jose, definitely, I'll be home for 2 weeks regardless. Let's definitely link up and have a drink, brother. And salute to Neo as well. Lastly, Graphk, wanted to thank you and show my appreciation for your dedication to Raider Nation. I want to know, heartfelt, thank you. Go Raiders, man. Salute to my guy. I appreciate you, brother. Real talk. That means a lot to me. Thank you, Neo. But I'll say this, okay? I was telling Wasted yesterday. I said, and Top, you know I love you, bro. No disrespect at all. Just timeouts. That's it. The thing that kills me is this. We're the only team that you hear people, former players in the NFL. Now, I don't hear this about any other team, and correct me if I'm wrong. The NFL is better when the Raiders are good. Is there any other team that you guys hear this about? The NFL is better when the Raiders are good. I swear, maybe I'm just so Raider biased that all I hear is that. All I hear is that. All I hear is that. That should be motivation enough to try and turn this shit around. For these players, this coaching staff, for Mark to go out there and identify, whether it's the general manager, so on and so forth. It's nasty. It's nasty. The NFL is better when the Raiders are good. And maybe Gio, the Steelers, Cowboys. There's a few teams, right? The Packers, the Niners that are, those older, teams and so on and so forth, right? But the NFL is better when the Raiders are good. When are we going to be good again? When are we going to be good again? When are we going to have head coaches holding themselves accountable for their actions and for the play calling and so on and so forth? When are we going to have players that don't take a week off, business decisions? When are we going to have, back-to-back great drafts? Not one good draft in 2014, and the next thing you know, every one of them sucks until this past draft. When are we going to find some continuity with this organization? The NFL is better when the Raiders are good. You know why? Because of us. Because of this. That's why. We mean a lot to the NFL in their bank accounts. We do. We tune in every week. We still buy tickets and buy merch insanely. I don't think you guys understand. I went to the store the other day randomly, okay? I don't never go to Burlington Coat Factory. And this may be super random. I go into Burlington. I'm living in Texas, in the Dallas area. I go in there, Raider shit all over the place. Raider shit all over. Not one Cowboy shirt, no Niners, no Steelers, no Kansas City. Oh, you know what? I'm lying. There was a few Kansas City cheap things. Raider shit all over the place. You know why? Because we're good in every hood. I repeat, we are good in any hood. We're the Raiders. We're the Raiders. That needs to translate to the football field next season. I'm signed on, you guys. I understand the move this year. I understand the twist. I get what we're doing here. I get it. I understand. Hey, we're going to tear a lot of this shit down this year. Next year, we're going in for our quarterback. We're going to go identify our running back in the draft, have him on a rookie deal. We're going to do this. We're going to, maybe get some offensive line help, so on and so forth. We're going to bring Christian Wilkins back from injury. Hopefully Malcolm Kuntz is okay and he's back, but it needs to translate to the football field. The reason I'm not really ranting today, you guys, is I understand the move. I get what we're doing. AP, I should put that on a t-shirt. I think I'll do that. We're good in every hood. We're a nation, right? But I'm not going to rant because, honestly, with this bad roster that we have, we played the Chiefs really well yesterday. We were pretty much in it until the end. We were. I'm not going to beat this team up. For what? I'm not going to come on here and scream about Gardner Minshew sucking. He actually went out there and played pretty freely yesterday. Outside of that fumble, which sucked, I actually enjoyed doing that watch party yesterday. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys, hanging out with Hammer. I had fun watching that football game because it was actually competitive. It was competitive. I didn't see one person take a play off. Everybody went out there and played their game. It just wasn't good enough because what we have on this roster, it just ain't good enough right now. The questions are, once again, game management and coaching decisions. You know, Patrick Graham leaving the middle of the football field open over and over and over. Marshawn Lynch's voice over and over and over and over again. Goal line situation, running the football over and over and over. All they kept doing was unleashing Travis Kelce to the middle of the football field and bing, 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 over and over and over. Travis Kelce had a bounce back game, you guys, yesterday. He has looked actually very, very pedestrian this season. Guess what? He was targeted 12 times yesterday, 10 receptions. He had 90 yards and a touchdown, averaged 9 a clip on our Raiders yesterday. You know why? Because the middle of that football field was just wide the fuck open. Over and over and over again. There was one play where Travis Kelce caught the football on his knee and looked around like, is anybody going to touch me? Oh, shit. I'm going to get up and run for a few more yards. And guess what? He did. That motherfucker sat there on one knee like he was proposing to Taylor Swift, looked around and said, oh, shit, there's not a defender in motherfucking sight. And got up and took off for another few yards. If that's not coaching, you guys, I don't know what the fuck is. I don't know. I don't know what is. That's coaching. It's over and over and over and over again. These guys playing out of place. Definitely Caps, that's on PG. That man sitting there, bro. Dog. Every kiss begins with K. That motherfucker sat there on one kneecap and looked around, bro, like, is anybody gonna fucking touch me? You know what? Fuck it. I'll get up and run for another 5 yards. That is absolutely disgusting. It's unacceptable, man. So with the Geo, my dog, appreciate you on becoming Green Dot Gang. My dog, if you guys want to become Green Dot like my boy Geo, hit the link. It's pinned up top. It's definitely one of the best ways to support what we do over here at OLV, man. Salute to you. Almost 900 people rocking in the building. I appreciate every single one of you guys, man. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. And real quick, you guys, also, real quick, pause for the cause here. Salute to our proud sponsors over at BetUS. This live stream is powered by BetUS. Head over there. Get a 150% bonus on your first deposit. 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits by using promo code YouTube150. Fastest payouts in the industry, up to $2,000. Don't miss out on those deals. Head over to BetUS. Tell them I sent you. Once again, this stream is powered by our proud sponsors over at BetUS. Laser, could it have been an O-line problem? Maybe a change there in either coaching or scheme can solve a big chunk of the offense ineptness. You know, the problem is this, Laser. I don't think that they're going to really change anything moving forward. I think that they already know this isn't a good enough football team to go out there and win some unnecessary games. They'll probably keep Joe Philbin and James Craig out there calling the shots on the O-line. They'll probably end up keeping Luke Getsy for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason not to. If you make a change, there might be a spark there where once again our Raiders get all hyped up and win a few games, and next thing you know, we're out of the quarterback. You know, we're out of range to get our quarterback. At this point, you might as well just keep every single coach that you have in the building until next year, because apparently they're not doing their job, but they're doing their job by keeping us in range to go get our guy of the future. So fuck it, keep Getsy. Keep him. Keep him. But I'll tell you this, Laser. Did you see the difference? And I want to ask you guys in the chat. Did you guys see the difference with JPJ out there at center? First order of business, Laser. Move on from Andre James. Move on from Andre James. Move on from him. JPJ is your guy. He's your guy. He's your guy. I seen the difference in the offensive line immediately when he came in. That is a mauler at the center position. And I said it on the stream yesterday. How in the fuck are us fans smarter than this coaching staff? If we know that JPJ is a natural born killer, like our boy Top Beat said at the center position, then why is he not there? Do we know better? Do we know better? These guys have dedicated their lives to this game. Most of them played football and became coaches. How do we know better? That O-line looked totally different with JPJ out there. And to be honest, you guys, I like Jordan Meredith. I like Jordan Meredith. I do. I have no issue bringing him back next year, but there's a few guys, there that there's some question marks, right? Glaze is a rookie. He had a tough game yesterday and understood when you're playing against Chris fucking Jones and company. They're going to make your life a living hell. But I do believe that he is good enough to be a pivotal part of this offensive line moving forward. Mumford, on the other hand, if he's not going to be your left tackle of the future, I don't know what you're going to do with Mumford unless you move him to guard. I don't want him at right tackle. I don't. I think moving forward, if it's Glaze, great. Or if you go get another guy, great. But Mumford does not need to be a right tackle. He should either be your left tackle of the future if you move on from Colton Miller, because I thought he played phenomenal at left tackle last year when Colton went out with that shoulder injury, or you move him to left guard or where I think he was an All-American at Ohio State at the guard position, right? But there's only a few moves that you need to really tinker with on that O-line. I think that we got some guys on this O-line, you guys, that can definitely be a pivotal part of this thing moving forward. So going into next year's draft, I don't think that we need to draft a million tackles and a million guards. I think we'll be fine with some continuity, keep these guys around, just move them in the right spots. Put them where they need to be. JPJ is a fucking center. He's a center. He's a center. Dylan Parham is a right guard. He's been playing left guard up until this season. He's a right guard. Put them where they need to be. Put them where their strong suits are. If Mumford's going to be that new Brandon Parker, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. If that's a guy that can come in when need be, if there's injuries where he can play backup left tackle, backup right tackle, backup guard, cool, great. He can play that, that Brandon Parker role, but an improved version, because Brandon Parker was absolutely fucking terrible. And Big Mike, yes. And Andre James is a turnstile. Yes. Wash your hands of that. You made it. Look, Tom Telesco and company, you guys made a bad decision. You brought him back. And I understood, because I think the way they structured that contract is essentially a one-year deal. You can kind of get out of it next year and not owe him a shit ton of money. So I was assuming that maybe they had JPJ playing guard in year one to allow him to get used to the speed of the game so they can analyze Andre James and see if he's the guy moving forward. But simple mathematics, you guys. Put that man at center. And yes, the whole line was improved by 65%, Graham. I agree with you. I may even go 70. But, hey, man, what do we know, Graham, right? We're just fans, man. We're just fans. We don't know nothing. We don't know anything. But I'll say this, you guys. 27-20, close loss. For a minute there was 17-13. We had an opportunity to go up on them when we were in that goal line situation with that Merrick pick. I do want to give away a few game balls because I do want some of these guys to get what they earned. Okay. For anybody that watches the show, I know a lot of the players, coaching staff, they watch a lot of this YouTube stuff. I know firsthand that they watch the channel. I want to give these guys their flowers. Okay. No one in the ground game gets a game ball at all. The run game was absolutely abysmal. Once again, I said it before, Alexander Madison damn near had as many carries as yards, 14 carries, 15 yards. That's disgusting. I have to give Gardner Minshew a game ball. He went out there. He did not turn the ball over outside of that fumble. He didn't throw any picks. We all assumed he was going to go out there and throw 2 or 3, and we're going to see Desmond Ritter out there. But guess what? Gardner Mitchell went out there 24 for 30, very efficient, over 200 yards in the air. He looked good, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked 5 times, but he was very resilient out there. I got to give him a game ball. Give him Brock Bowers a game ball. If you would continue to feed him, this game may have looked totally different in the second half. I don't know how you get away from this kid there in the third and fourth quarter, but they did. Keep feeding Brock Bowers. 5 receptions, 58 yards. He would have had a major game if they kept looking his way. I'm giving Jakobi Meyers a game ball as well, dealing with that ankle injury, missed most of practice, during the week. Came in, had 6 receptions on 7 targets, had 52 yards and a touchdown, and that touchdown was beautiful. Great pitch and catch, by Minshew to Jakobi. Phenomenal play. I'm giving Jakobi Meyers a game ball as well. I'm going to give DJ Turner one also. I know he only had 4 receptions for 28 yards, but he did have a touchdown, which was another beautiful touchdown by the young kid. But he has worked his ass off to get to this point, and he's proving his value week in and week out in this offense since we moved on from Devontae Adams, and so on and so forth. So I want to give DJ Turner a game ball also on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, I think we should have been a lot better than we were yesterday. I can't give too many game balls here on this side, but I'm going to give Merrick one. I'm going to give him one. He had a pass defensed. He had a pick. He was all over the place. 9 total tackles. He had 5 solo. These past 3 or 4 weeks has me re-strategizing in my mind, like, should we bring back Merrick? Because these past few weeks, he's been showing his value. So I definitely give him a game ball yesterday. Once again, man, Jacorian Bennett looked good out there. He definitely did. Jack Jones looked good. I'm not going to give them game balls, though. But Nate Hobbs, 4 tackles, 2 solo. But I can't give him a game ball either because Kelsey was all over the fucking place. He was all over the place. But you know who I'm going to give a game ball to? Just because I'm giving one to Tyree Wilson. 3 total tackles. He was on the stat sheet this week, you guys. He had 2 solo tackles. He had a sack and he had a tackle for a loss. The young kid deserves a game ball on the defensive side of the ball, man. I don't care what anybody says. We have absolutely killed this kid. We have treated him like Zeus the first year or so of his career. He deserves a game ball. He does, man. He does. So I'd give Tyree a game ball. I'd also give Merrick a game ball on the defensive side of the ball as well. Graham, I see you said Diablo's been balling since his return. I'll say this. He's been balling up, to the usual standards of what he brings, but there's still so many plays that he gives up on. There's so many plays where I'm like, God, you were out of place. Like, I don't know what it is with Divine Diablo. It's just like a boom or bust kind of situation with him. You know what I mean? I like Divine. I don't love Divine, but I like Divine. And I'll be okay with letting him walk in free agency next year. But he has improved, compared to, what he's done in the past, but I still see too many plays where I'm like, damn, he gave up that touchdown. He gave up this, he gave up that. It's tough, man. I can't, LT, I'm not going to give anybody on the defensive line outside of Tyree anything, man. Maxx didn't have a great game by any measure because that's Maxx Crosby. Adam Butler didn't get to the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? If you want to give the D-line, some type of credit, they kept the Kansas City Chiefs under 100 yards rushing, right? So, if you want to give the defensive line some credit for that, the passing game was working for Mahomes and company, so they didn't really need to run the football too much, but we held them to 82 yards rushing. They did have a touchdown, but Kareem Hunt had 21 carries for 59 yards. He averaged 2.8 a clip, so we definitely played the run really well, but they found a way to get the passing game going. So, yeah, if Derek, if you want to say give Butler a game ball because of the run game, cool. Jenkins and company, that's cool. That's cool. And too many penalties yesterday, you guys, for me. Too many penalties. We were penalized way too much yesterday. And once again, it was the young guys. It was JPJ. It was DJ Glaze. I think Colton, didn't Colton give up 1 or 2 as well? Big Mike, definitely. Big man John Jenkins, that deflection that led to that Merrick pick. Definitely. But I could have swore, didn't Colton have a hold? And I think he had two penalties. Was it 1 or 2? Sam says 1. I could have swore he had 2. But he had a rough game. We know why we're playing the way we play. We're trying to get a quarterback next year. That's like people asking why the WNBA players don't make as much as NBA players. We all know, but don't want to say. Salute to the Mokes, my dog. Appreciate you, brother. I said, on Twitter, you guys, and on Instagram yesterday that these next 9 or 10 weeks are going to feel like your first 24 hours in jail. For anyone, if you know, it's the longest day of your life. These next 9 to 10 weeks are going to be like the first 24 hours in jail, man. I promise you. We just got to fight through it, come together as a nation, talk our shit, have some fun, highlight these young fellas, highlight these young kids, and just watch the development of some of these first and second year guys. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Moving forward, I'm looking at specific players. I'm not looking at the win-loss ratio. I'm just looking at what these young kids can do and if they can be a major part of what we're doing moving forward. That's it. I'm enjoying now, watching, these young kids, JPJ and DJ Glaze, get an opportunity to do what they do. I love it. Seeing Trey Tucker and Turner, out there getting real live bullets. You love it. I put that out there yesterday too, Sam. On tight end day, bro. Not utilizing him in the red zone or not even pretty much utilizing him in the second half at all. It's nasty work. DJ Loaded, man, congratulations, brother. Congratulations. We definitely have a superstar in the making in Brock Bowers. Facts. Let me see. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, what are you waiting on, man? Hit that subscribe button. Let's get up to 30,000 subscribers, you guys. I cannot do it without you guys, man. I also had, another bad analogy that I'm going to put out there. Back-to-back weeks. I told my wife, I asked her, I said, babe, do you mind if I post this? She was like, yeah, just post it. So you remember I asked you, baby, I said, can I post this? You like, yeah, it's funny. Remember? I had to ask the wife, you got to ask the boss, what I'm saying? Make sure everything's sweet. But back-to-back weeks, we've been in goal line situations, first and goal, literally inches away from goal to score, and you can't score. Back-to-back weeks. 1 week, you throw the football every single down. The next week, you run the football every single goddamn play. You getting that close back-to-back weeks, it literally reminds me of getting a call from a female at 2 a.m. Come on over. You know what time it is? Cool. You go over there. She don't tell you she's on her period. Disgusting. Nasty work. You're inviting me over here at 2 a.m? And you didn't tell me that if I want to get some, I got to run a red light? It's nasty work out here in these streets, man. Vaughn says, Shark Week. That is hilarious. It's like a whole week of them playing sharks on TV. I don't know what the fuck. Yo, Graham is stupid. The good old whiskey dick. Dun, dun, dun. And that's another thing, Derek. Like, what were you doing there? Like, what were you doing there? It was like they took Gardner Minshew out the game for one play just for Desmond Ritter and company to get a 5-yard penalty just to take him back out of the game. Like, what were you trying to do? What were you trying? Are you trying to throw off the Kansas City Chiefs? Like, what were you doing? I'm trying to figure out what was the game plan for throwing out Desmond Ritter for one play, getting a penalty, and taking him back off the football field. What was the thought process behind that? Were you trying to confuse people? Richard, you think so? Think it's going to be a draw? I know we were in shotgun there. I mean, maybe it could have been. I don't know. Maybe it could have been a draw. Maybe that was the move. Operator King, you know what's up, man. Bloodline, baby. We run red lights. The most watching the Raiders is like, oh my God, bro. I'm about to get canceled for sure. DeMokes, you dickhead. But I was just confused by that. I didn't know what we were trying to do there. I didn't know what we were trying to do. And once again, during the game, I said it before, you guys, those second half adjustments were going to be insane for the Chiefs. Andy Reid was going to come out. All right, I know what they're throwing at us. I know what we see here. And we're going to go out here. And we still fought tooth and nail in that second half. We still found a way to be competitive and remain in that game. Even with our coaching staff kind of going against the players. It felt like yesterday the Raiders players, you guys, were playing the Chiefs and the coaching staff. Am I alone here? I could have swore it felt like the players were facing their own coaching staff and the Chiefs. And in that instance, you're not going to win a ball game. That's what it felt like to me. It's crazy to me, man. You got your players out there playing against their own coaching staff and the Kansas City Chiefs. That's nasty work. That's nasty work. Get a few questions in, you guys. I got to get out of here soon. My son has football practice today. Usually not on Mondays, but with Halloween being on Thursday, they canceled practice on Thursday. And we got practice today. So playoffs start Saturday. So we got to get these boys ready to go, man. Let me see. One Nation first game. I remember we scored at least 3 in all 4 quarters. That's got to be a small victory. Hey, man, there you go. There you go. Hey, Paulie. Hey, bro, they're getting so comfortable calling it Arrowhead West. I don't know if you've seen Travis Kelce. I love the exchange between him and Brock Bowers, too. That was beautiful, man. It was kind of like a passing of the torch, so to speak. You know what I'm saying, on the football field at the end of the game. I loved that exchange with Travis Kelce and Brock. You know, him saying, hey, I'm going to put my jersey, you know, in your locker. Can I get yours? And let's take a picture. You know, it was tight end day. That was phenomenal. But the thing I heard on the way in the locker room was, we own this place. Travis Kelce said, we own this place. We run this shit. Bro, I'm telling y'all now, for you young fans, if Al Davis was still alive in social media, in today's world, in social media world, dog, Al would probably trade every first round pick that he could next year to go get his quarterback. The idea of even having the 49ers and Chiefs playing in his place last year, if we were in Vegas, he would have did whatever the fuck he could do to go get Jake Daniels. He would have offered the Commanders everything to go get that. I don't know how he would have done it, but he would have did it. He would have figured it out. And the thing is, they do run that motherfucker. They won a championship there. Andy Reid has won more football games in the Allegiant Stadium than any of our head coaches. I think he's won more games at Allegiant than Gruden, Josh McDaniels, and AP. Hey, man. And they won a Super Bowl in our spot. And like you said, Paulie, they look comfortable, chill, vibes. It's nasty work, man. It's nasty work, you guys. Nasty work. But it is what it is. We'll bounce back. The thing is, man, once again, you guys, the thing with AP, hold yourself accountable. Hold your coaching staff accountable. Don't say the issue is execution, okay? That shit goes hand in hand. You want these players to execute? Call better plays. Make this shit more clear for them. That goes for Patrick Graham. That goes for Luke Getsy. Whoever's out there helping to call these plays on both sides of the football. It all boils down to accountability. Hold everybody accountable. Your players, your coaching staff, yourself. For you to go out there and say the issue is execution, once again, I'm going to say this for the last time. You're literally throwing your players under the fucking bus, man. And when you're in week 8, week 9, and you're saying that we're still trying to find our identity, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Because the last I checked, AP, coming into this season, our identity was we're a defensive, smash mouth, run the football team. That was supposed to be our identity. Now that you've lost our identity because the defense isn't the way it was last year and we can't run the football, now we're still looking for our identity. I thought we had an identity. It's up to you to maintain that identity. You're the head coach. If our identity is run the football, go out and get a better running back. Or fire Cadillac Williams and Luke Getsy and improve that room. If we're a smash mouth football team, our identity is defensive and running the football. We're still looking for our identity. The last I checked, bro, our identity was clear cut. I didn't understand that. I don't understand the thought process behind that. I don't. So, and being week 8, week 9, and you're still trying to figure it out because now the defense is hurt and they look different and you can't run the football. Now we have no identity. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. But, it is what it is. Who am I? Once again, man, salute to everybody here in the building. As always, wipe them feet, you guys. Hit them thumbs up. If you are not subscribed yet, man, please hit that subscribe button. Once again, also, man, salute to our proud sponsors over at BetUS. This live stream is powered by BetUS. Make sure to head over there and get 150% bonus on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits by using promo code U2150 up to $2,000, the fastest payouts in the industry. Make sure to head over to BetUS and tell them that Graphk Raider sent you. As always, salute to our proud sponsors. This live stream was powered by BetUS. Let me go ahead and get out of here, you guys. Get my son to football practice. I love you guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Hold your heads high. We lost yesterday. We definitely got, beat by the Kansas City Chiefs, divisional rival. But hey, it was a game. It was a game. There's a lot of good to take out of that game yesterday. So let's hold our heads high. It sucks anytime we lose to the Chiefs. But at the end of the day, man, it wasn't as bad, as the Carolina loss, the Denver loss. We can hold our heads high knowing that, we lost to the Chiefs by 7 points and we were in that thing. We were in that thing the whole time. You know what I mean? So salute you guys. We'll be active all week long. Once again, if you guys are in the Cincinnati area, please let me know. DM me. Me and Stu will be out there. We're staying in downtown Cincinnati. We got a hotel. We're going to be out there trying to rock with the nation. Please, if you guys are going out there, flying out there, driving out, let us know. We definitely want to hang out with you guys. We're probably going to try to do a few lives out there as well. So if you guys want to be a part of what we're doing, if you guys know a Raiders chapter out there, please let me know. We want to connect with Raider Nation while we're out there. All right. So please hit me up, DM me, Graphk Raider on Twitter, or DM me on Instagram at Graphk916. And let me know if you're going to be out there, man. Let's have some beers. Let's hang out. Let's shoot the shit. Other than that, man, once again, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I am out. One.
That's what I'm talking about.